Okay, you guys, so since there's a lot of controversy in regards to this video, a lot of questions in the comments, I decided to do a little playback on my TV and kind of explain the sequence of events in that Shapeshifter Mexico video. Now, I know it's an older video and there's all this stipulation that it was a school project. I'm going to tell you this is legit, okay? Now, even if down the road someone decided to replicate the situation, the CCTV, that footage, it is pretty real. And there's a reason why you see variations in the cell phones versus the CCTV. There were several people recording the incident. And in Mexico, they're very spiritual people. Like they're more believers than we are here in the US. So a lot of activity happens in those places like there, South America, all those places where, you believe in that stuff, or you're open-minded, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and play it, and I'm going to pause it here and there so to kind of highlight some things that you may or may have not caught when you initially watched it. So here we go.
A couple in a movie theater in Mexico City started a fight that made the people around them record them without knowing what would happen next, where the girl changes for my will. The boyfriend was in shock, strangely, when the shapeshifter touches him and makes contact with us.
Okay, so I want to pause real quickly. So the narrator is saying that, because some of the comments from people were saying, well, how did they know when to record it? The thing is that they were having an argument in the movie theater. Now, keep in mind, it's a movie theater. The movie hasn't started yet, so it's probably in the credits. And these teenagers are having a discussion, and it's like a movie theater full of teenagers, like 80% teenagers. So of course they're going to be nosy. Of course they're going to pull out their phones. And as the argument ensued and the girl's voice kept elevating, well, then that drew more attention, and more people started to record. So that's what happened here. And if you didn't just catch it, I'm going to rewind it a little bit. The girl, she either has a twin, which I highly doubt, or that's the doppelganger. Something tells me that the argument they were having is she probably took the form of this person that's literally gonna pass by that looks like her twin, and then they didn't realize that the girl would be entering the same movie theater. So that's probably started, this is just my theory, a little conversation like, oh my God, change into something else, or whatever. I don't know. I do have a firm belief that the boyfriend knew she was a shapeshifter. Maybe he was one too, but let me rewind it so you can see the same exact girl that's the girlfriend passes by the first frame of the camera, okay? Which I find quite interesting.
Again, let's see the video in his original.
So I'm going to back it up a little bit.
That made the people around them,
and I'll point to the girl.
What would happen next, where the girl changes for my will. The boyfriend was in shock, strangely, when
that's the girlfriend.
Touches him and makes
there she is. There she is. Same exact girl.
In his original audio.
So right there, she's arguing with someone. She's like, take your stuff. Just take your stuff. That's what she's telling the boyfriend. And then she turns around and faces a person in front of her and says, why are you recording me? Just stop. And then she's like fed up. She's like, you know what? I'm over this. I'm done. I'm leaving. So that's what she said in Spanish. She's like, I don't care. I'm leaving. I'm over it. I'm done. So at this point they shifted, right? So what happened was, and the CCTV shows the other angle, but what happened was, they stood up and he's imploring her. He's like, don't go, whatever. And, he has his hands on her. And what happens is, as she's trying to pull away, like when he yanks her, that's when the shifting happened, because they made contact, but he yanked her in a way that the hologram or whatever it is decoded pretty much. And in touching him, then it assumed the boyfriend's image, okay? And the CCTV shows the other angle where you see the moment where he grabs her, the boyfriend pulls her, and then the switch happens. Literally in an instant, and like in a blur, like too fast, okay? All right, let's go back. everybody in the crowd is saying, what's happening? He's on the ground and his eyes are white. They're like rolled back to now. Now a lot of people are like, why are people like just walking around him all nonchalant? Well, first of all, they were afraid. They didn't want to step on him. Okay, these are teenagers. I guarantee if it was adults, they wouldn't have cared. If this was a different scenario, a different crowd, they would have just ran and trampled people, right? These were a group of teenagers, so they were a little cautious, and they were like, they didn't want to step on the guy, you know, and they were trying to, but they were also in like fearful, so they're like walking cautiously at the same time being conscious of they don't want to step on the guy. His eyes were white, so that freaked them out, right? It's kind of like they were in the Twilight Zone. They didn't know what the heck was happening, okay? So they were just cautiously exiting. And meanwhile, a lot of people are still recording. And the main person that recorded this, I wanted to stay to the very end. I don't think ever identified themselves. But keep watching. There he is on the ground, eyes rolled back. Just passed out from the transformation. Now there's these two people right here, okay? They have flashlights that are there to help, and then he gets up and he runs off. Somebody just said, hurry up, run, 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 get away. People are still recording. And he's just chasing after his, you know, shape-shifting girlfriend or whatnot. People are still recording. Different people are still recording, okay? So what happened, what was interesting that I found in viewing this video and the CCTV video that a lot of people were questioning is those two people that were trying to help him in the end when the usher guy, when the employee staff came up, there was two people, the young people there with flashlights, kind of like, what the heck was going on? And they were not staff, they had plain clothes, but they came out of nowhere. I was trying to figure out where were they sitting, where did they come from? And I found it very strange that those two people at the very end came out of nowhere. Then when you look at the CCTV, same reenactment or replay, they're not there. So either the lighting was really good and it just washed them out, that's why you couldn't see those two people, or they didn't really exist. It just adds to the whole phenomena, okay? And the guy was fully aware. Obviously, my theory in this whole scenario is, you know, either they were I don't know how to explain it. They're definitely a couple. He was aware of her situation, its situation, told her to change. You know, they who knows, probably changes into different people all the time. Just to, I don't know, but they went to the movies. He changed into that girl. He probably saw her in the bathroom, changed into that girl, took her form. Then she ended up going to the same movie as they did. It got awkward. They started a conversation. Maybe she got weirded out, and, you know, then who knows what else triggered the conversation. Then they brought attention to themselves. People started recording. And then in the whole tug and war of him saying, sit down, like, just don't worry about it, chill. And she was like, no, you can tell she was anxious. She just wanted out of there. And that's why it got all frantic. When he pulled her, then the shift happened. And that's what the CCTV angle shows. It shows that quick bleep in where he pulls and it switches, okay? And there's no disputing that. You can say there was a cut scene and all that, but I'm going to tell you something. When supernatural things happen, that's why it's very foggy. That's why it's glitchy. They mess with electronics. And I can tell you from personal testimony that I'll be taking a picture and everyone else is clear in the frame, but someone with supernatural phenomena, their picture is blurry, or there's something funny with their situation. It's always like that because it's like they vibrate at like a warp speed. That's what creates the blurry vision, and they always mess with electronics. So you may look at it like a glitch or a cut scene. I look at it like they stopped the camera or paused it or glitched it, because that's what supernatural does. So I want you guys to take a look at it again with those points that I just highlighted. The twin looking girl that's wearing the exact same outfit that passes by her, okay, up the stairs. So you know there's two different people there and they look exactly the same. The conversation, several cameras, okay, several people recording this. And actually in this video here, somebody made the comment that was true and that they were there that day at that movie theater. I'm not going to say her name, but if you go back to this link, it's in the comments. Okay. And she said, I was there. This really happened. So again, to verify. And like I said, in Mexico, they're very open. The Hispanic cultures are very open anyways. They believe in that stuff. They have, you know, especially the supernatural, spiritual stuff. So they weren't freaked out like that. They just didn't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And it happened kind of fast. But that stuff does exist, you guys. And supernatural does mess with electronics and does create blurry everything, because they want you to put that little seed, that little plant, that doubt in you. Like, oh no, that, you know, that's my mind playing tricks on me. But it's not. It truly does happen. It truly does exist. This world has so many mysteries, so many wonders. And until you experience it for yourself, you're going to always deny it, or you're always going to find a reason to debunk something until you have that first experience. And then it's your testimony against the world.